an oil leak. I think it's coming from this ram. I think the seal was gone in there. Confession time, I'm feeling rather stupid. Hello sports fans, how are we? No sport going on today, but we are in one of the silage pits. I've got a few sheep that need feeding that Andy's got in on a trial. And I thought I would make use of this silage pit that we've not been using, obviously since the cows went out. Now you can see that there is obviously a lot of mould on it because it's just been left open like this. So I'm going to need to peel a whole chunk off the front using the big Strymec shear grab, beast of a thing, until we find some good grass. And then we'll take some down and feed some sheep. Now this pit here, we'll be cutting off the front anyway to put our next sort of silage we do on the front, which will hopefully be next week if the weather is going to play ball. Yeah, for now I'm going to have to get up there somehow and push that sheep back so I can get at it and peel some off. I'll have to take a load around to the midden, and then what I'll do is I'll stockpile a little bit against the wall here where it's clean somewhere, and I'll take it around with a bucket for the sheep and give them a good feeding. There aren't many sheep. It's I think it's something like 45 lambs or something that one feeding, so they don't need a lot. But they've been on round bales that we've been chopping up using the wagon. But they just don't keep very long. Once you've chopped them and chucked a lot of air into them, they don't keep. So cut out some blocks and feed them little and often, I think. Kapow! I've taken off some of the bad stuff on the front. I've not gone all the way along the face because I don't need to use too much. There's no point taking mould off just to let more mould grow. So the stuff behind there will actually keep all right until we want to take more off. But I've taken a couple grabs out of there that I want. I've also got something new to show you. Drum roll, please. Boom! A new bucket. A new Strymec bucket for the front of the Manitou. Our old muck bucket, so the one we use to muck out every morning, the floor rotted out on it. So what we've done is we've downgraded our, what we call the clean bucket that we used to use for feeding and pushing up grain and loading lorries or whatever. So that has now become the muck bucket, and we've got a big new Strymec clean bucket for loading lorries, feeding up and doing this sort of job. Yeah, new bucket. Anyway, I've got a pile of feed there that's good, so that will last 4 or 5 days for the sheep. So I'll take some down and fill up their feeders. You see they got a bit of bale silage left in there, but I'll fork that out because it's been there a couple of days. And we'll give them some fresh stuff. But there's 4 groups here. This is just an observation trial, I think. I'll have to try and get Andy in front of the camera to tell me about it one day. But from what I understand, it's an observation trial to do with the microbes in the gut and how separating groups and then bringing them back together changes the makeup of the gut microbe. I don't know, but something along those lines. That might be completely wrong. We'll get Andy to tell us one day. Anyway, I'm going to fork some silage in for them. Right, they look rather happy with that. So I'll do the other 3 pens. I'll also leave a bit in front here. I'll do that on the weekend, because today's Friday. I should last them most of the weekend, but if they need topping up, at least there's a bit there to top them up with. So yeah, let's do the other 3 pens. Right, I've just finished feeding these guys, and I found a problem. We have ourselves an oil leak. I think it's coming from this ram. I think the seal was gone in there. Which is no good at all, so we'll have to go and park this up and start about getting that sorted. New bucket works, huh? The plus side, so there's quite a lot of oil coming out of there. That is no good. So this isn't very good here. This seal in this ram here is leaking quite badly when you put any sort of pressure on the oil. It squirts out there at quite a rate of knots, so we're gonna have to get something done here. Confession time, I'm feeling rather stupid. Me and Craig were having a look at the headstock here, the Manitou, and looking at this pin, wondering how we're gonna get it out. And I put my hand on it, and it wobbled. It was very, very loose. We started having a look, and we actually managed to screw the pin. See how it spins? Back in, and that stopped the leak. The ram had just come loose inside. So the leak was coming from the back, not from the actual seal, and now it's not leaking any oil. I'm feeling incredibly stupid. I'm also very relieved, because that means now there's no downtime with this machine. There's no fixing that needs doing. There's no big cost associated with it. And we can get on and spread some fertilizer. So spreader's on the 155. Just put the dome on, that's all warming itself up. We'll put the bag handle on here and put 3 bags in the spreader. Just feeling a bit silly. is Nitram, 34.5%, which means it's 34.5% nitrogen for every 100 kilos of product. 34 kilos, I should say, for every 100 kilos of product. It's called a fled bag, and that allows us to let out certain amounts of fertilizer from a bag if we don't want a whole bag. I do need the rest of what's in this bag, so I'm going to let it out and then just cut it out in a moment. They're very, very handy if you need to split bags of fertilizer. Get them from AMIA, Agri Market Inside Access. Just search AMIA Agri on Google and you'll find them. Right, so we just filled up, back in the cab now, just setting up our isobus, so that's all set up. The quantity we want to spread per hectare is at 116, which is correct. We just need to tell the John Deere system that we're using Nitram, which was the last product I used anyway, so that is fine. The reason that is so important is because everything we're doing now, especially on this tractor and the 130, is being recorded and sent to the John Deere operation system. We're then pulling that information out and putting it into our own recording software called FarmOS, which is there for then the sort of PhD students and the science staff and everyone to then pull that information out as and when they want it, which is obviously very important for the sort of work that we are doing, to have accurate records. It makes our machinery replacement a lot more important. So we're currently looking at replacing one of the 6620 tractors, and we're just debating sort of what to do. Do we replace it with something sort of like for like that's going to run a wagon or a straw chopper, be absolutely fine on a silage trailer and such going forth? We're also looking at replacing our dung spreader. Now that will be a lot more high spec. It will be hopefully capable of doing variable rate spreading, a full onboard weigh system, and all the sort of high spec things that dung spreaders can now do. The problem we'll face is we'll end up having so many implements, such as like the fert spreader, the sprayer, the dung spreader, that rely on having a tractor with the brain power within the tractor to run it and do all the recording of the stuff that it is capable of doing, that we're going to be sort of focused solely on two tractors. So my tractor and also the 130 that are capable of recording all that data, that's a very important thing for what we do. And just got to make sure that when we do replace a tractor, that we bear in mind that what happens if one of this tractor or the other one is broken down, or we're trying to fertilizer, spray and spread dung all on the same day. Can we do it all? And the people that are going to be doing the jobs, are they happy with using the software that is on the machines, and all that sort of thing that's going on. It just focuses the mind a little bit as to what it is you're trying to achieve. So as for most commercial farms, you sort of go with your dealer backup, which is obviously very important for us as well, and a lot more focus on cost, whereas we are obviously cost focused as well as purchase prices and maintenance and upkeep of machines and all that thing. It isn't the deciding factor necessarily on what we do. Our end goal is the data, and that is what drives our decision for machinery that we're going to be buying going forward. Not on price of machine. So we're doing some shopping, we're getting some quotes, and there's a lot of ongoing discussion as to how we go about what we're going to do at replacing the next tractor. I sort of went off on a bit of a tangent there, but basically why it's so important to tell the machine that we're spreading Nitram and get all the spread rates and everything correct is that when it records it onto the John Deere system and we want to pull it out from there onto our system, if you don't change the products, they're willing to spread TSP or MOP next in a different field, and I forgot to change it to Nitram or MOP on the John Deere screen here. That then translates to the operating system, and then that translates to our field record. So it's one of these things. The software that John Deere have for recording is miles ahead of any of the other tractor brands at the minute, in my opinion. But you do have to make sure that you put the stuff in correctly. It's all down to the person. Well, a lot of it is down to the person using it. It's why this sort of thing doesn't really work if you have multiple people trying to do same jobs. It works a lot better with one person doing the first spreading or the spraying and knowing how to do it all and set it all up so that the data that we're recording is as accurate as possible. Right, we're just spreading away in the field that we baled up last week. As you can see, there's Craig with a hedge trimmer, just doing some road hedges, as well as doing some of the drains around the outside of the fields. Getting ready to, well, we're cutting all those and then we'll get ready to spray them so they don't get blocked up. So that's what they look like once Craig's been around with a hedge trimmer. And then we go around and spray them and just clear them all up. Mr. Bowman having a tidy up. He's been on a bit of a topping crusade of late, as John. Tidying it all up, making they look nice. There's an awful lot of rushes and stinging nettles in that field, so he's just knocking them all off. I've got some more topping to do around the margins of all the wheat fields here still. Job on my list. Just finished spreading fert for the day, so I parked beside one of our hoses so I can wash out the spreader in a minute. What I'm going to do though is, if I go back to my home screen, press this little button here, and press start. What that does is open the bottom of the spreader right open, so that no water can get trapped inside when I wash it out. I'm not going to give it a full clean like I normally do, so I've got some TSP to spread next, but it's the end of the day and I don't like leaving anything on it because it just likes to rot stuff, fertilizer, so I'm just going to give it a nice little swill over. Also, I leave the tractor running. I'll show you why. I leave the tractor running so I can use my hydraulic top link here to tilt the machine forward or backwards, so I can get the water out of it when it's on the inside. But anyway, yeah, we'll get this clean. All cleaned, nice and shiny. So we press stop on there, that will shut the bottom of the spreader up. All that's left to do now is park up for the night. Right, that is us done. Tractor looks pretty happy, tucked up in the shed. Had some new stakes delivered, ready for fencer to well, do some fencing. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. If you'd like to give the video a thumbs up and also subscribe if you haven't already, it is completely free. Doesn't cost you a penny, helps me out loads. New merch, available via one of the links in the description. Go and check it out. And I'll see you on another video very soon. Cheerio.